Hi, I'm Gapinder, and I am the owner of Lume Dental.
That was exactly the same. I'm
Do it then in a relaxed way. Go.
Hi, I'm Ruby Lalia, and I am the social media manager at Lume Dental, and I have the pleasure of working with my brother sibling full time. Unfortunately for some, but how are you finding it?
Yeah, good. So, in what way?
I don't know, just because obviously I've been full time now for 3 months. Obviously, I was part time before. I wasn't in practice as much, and now I'm in a lot more, 3 days a week, right?
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, how are you finding? Because I knew you were a little bit nervous at the start of like bringing me in a bit full time and being around each other 3 days a week. I thought you might have felt like it was a bit much. How have you felt in the past three months?
Why would you feel that?
Because I think you voiced that. You were like, I don't think you should be in 5 days a week because it could be a little bit, we might clash a little bit because, we're both quite fiery.
Yeah.
And because we're family and we're like, you're the owner and I'm like technically an employee.
Yeah.
But, I'm still your sister. But I guess it's the pressure of wanting to do well for you, but then still being myself because you know what I'm like.
Do you feel like you had a lot of pressure?
No, I feel like sometimes I have to tone it down a little bit. You know me, I'm very like, I try and bring energy to the clinic every single day, no matter what I'm going through at home personally. Like, I try and be as uplifting and funny. And I know a lot of people in the clinic have made comments saying that, you bring a lot of good energy. I just wanted to know what you thought.
No, definitely. I think you do bring a lot of good energy, a lot of positive energy. It can be very loud, which is good in certain situations. In other situations in a clinical environment, it can be a little bit, I don't want to say off-putting, but you just need to be a little bit careful. But
Right back at you. Right back at you.
in what sense?
Just that, like everyone, I feel like we can all get carried away. I don't feel like it's always just me.
No, I know.
I feel like sometimes we're in clinical and, sometimes you can throw a question that's like not related to what we're doing in practice. And then I feed off you. I'm not going to sit there and ignore your question, right?
Yeah, no, I think you bring a very positive energy to the clinic for sure. A lot of energy. And one thing I do realize or have realized is that you get on really well with patients, no matter the type of patient it is, whether it's a young person like your age or someone old. You're very good at getting on a level with a patient and
Maybe I need a different role then. Maybe I need to be more like, I don't know, TCO, like patient coordinator. Would you trust me with that role?
Well, if you want to, there's always roles available if that's what you want to do. Like we'd have to fill your role because your role currently is also very important. You see, there's a reason that we brought you on full time, not just to kind of because you're my sister. I do believe that in this day and age, just the way the world is, if you want to try and do well in business, you have to get your name out there and you have to make videos and you have to try and
put yourself out there, don't you? Make yourself a bit vulnerable.
And you help with that for sure. So if you wanted to go down that route, I'm more than happy to facilitate it. But the role that you've got currently is also very, very important. So it's not a case that the TCO role or patient care coordinator role is superior to the role that you've got now. It's just about trying to match the person's strengths to what they are.
I
have
agree.
strengths in both, but if you were to go down that role, we would have to train you up a little bit, but also fill your role because the role that you're doing right now is also very important.
That's so nice that you've actually like accommodating to it. Normally I'm used to you being like, no, that's your role. That's your role. Stick to your role.
No, I believe in business. I think that obviously I'm quite new to it, but one of the long-lasting ways to succeed is to make sure that you're putting people in roles where around 70 to 80% of the job that they're doing is something that they enjoy. Otherwise, it's just not fun for the person. And if the person's not having fun and not happy most of the time when they're at work, they're not going to be as effective.
Yeah.
And they might be looking elsewhere to work. And money and paying staff can only get you so far. I do believe that they have to have some sort of fulfillment during their work. And I do think you're fulfilled being...
Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot in the past 3 months. Like, obviously I do social media for my personal brand as well. So I feel like I've always had that like edge of being able to edit videos, take videos. I'm quite confident on camera, talking and stuff. So I've always been good to like lead in that sense. So like, directing shoots and stuff, I feel like I've grown in that sense. I feel like one real key point of my job role is planning. I feel like you've got to be a master of planning and you've got to be a master of like forward planning and people's diaries and people's availability and shoots and content. It's a lot, but it's a journey, and I feel like I've enjoyed it so far. So
what's been the hardest part of you just kind of working at Lume in general?
I feel like I'm not gonna lie, obviously working with family, like I love the fact that I'm working with family. I think that's an amazing thing. I don't feel like a lot of people can get the opportunity to work with family. I can't lie, like sometimes when your work hat goes on, I know obviously your work hat is on all the time, but sometimes it's hard to kind of distinguish between sibling and my boss, if that makes sense. I'm getting more used to it, but sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't like that, or just general feedback. Sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I thought I was doing a good job, but really it's just you giving me positive feedback, or like feedback to like grow. Constructive, that's it. Yeah, so obviously it's a learning curve, and I'm learning on the job. I feel like I'm learning every day. Obviously only 3 months in.
Absolutely. Really well at the start of your job, to be fair. Maybe I don't recognise it enough, but you've done really, really well. So what would you say the hardest part is?
Just that, like I feel like the dynamic sometimes, like switching off from family to in work mode. Because obviously when you're at home, it's like you're my brother, and it's like, but I feel like you're very good at just being boss all the time. Even at home, you're the same. Like you're very much work mode all the time. This guy doesn't stop working. All he does is
Maybe
work.
that's just my personality then.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. My personality is a certain way, and maybe I do it too much. I am quite focused, and I think for me, it's just the nature of my personality. If I set my mind on doing something, I will give it 100%, and that's a good thing in certain situations. It increases the likelihood of me getting to where I want to go, but also work's not everything, right?
Absolutely.
Families are way more important than work, for example, and
Yeah.
the things that are more important than work. But I need to, in the moment, it's all well and good me saying that now, but maybe I need to recognise that a little bit more when I'm at home, for example, or I know when I'm not at work, even when I'm with family at home with Rosh or whatever. It is
it's hard to switch off sometimes, right?
Very hard to switch off. I find it very, very difficult. But like I said, it's a blessing and a curse. And it's something that I'm working on. But right now, I'm not going to lie to you, the priority in my life is making Lume a success. And it won't be like that forever. It is only a year and a half in, just over a year and a half. And I think to succeed in something like this, it does require an inordinate amount of effort upfront in particular.
I agree.
And that's the kind of phase that I'm in right now.
Would you say you've always been like this, like even when you were a kid growing up?
Well, you grew up with me, so you can probably answer that better.
You know what? If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't have like core memories of us growing up. Like other than the fact that the home videos that we used to have, and like you, the cutest baby I've ever seen, and you've seen it, and I'm obviously 3 years older than him, believe it or not. And I would run up to him.
They all believe it. No one's questioning that.
And then I would run up to you, and I'm like trying to be all center of attention in the camera, which that's not changed.
Hit me as well.
That's what I'm saying. So I used to run up to him, hit him, and then run away. And I literally watch those videos and I want to cry because you are the cutest baby I've ever seen.
But you were a baby when you were hit.
I know, but honestly.
But yeah, I think growing up, like when we were a bit older, because you're a girl, right? And I'm a guy, so it's like when we're young, it's fine. But then when you get teenage years and you're at school, we went to different schools. You went to
girls'
school. I went to a boys' school, and so maybe that's why you don't have the clear memories of us two kind of interacting with each other.
And then you left for uni, and it's like that was it, really.
You left for uni as well, and then, so it's just. I think that from my point of view, memories with yourself. You get little clips and things, but yeah, when you get into a teenager, right? You've got an older sister who's a teenager, 3 years older than you. You're a teenage boy, boy stuff. You're doing girl stuff. It's kind of like we never like not spoke or
yeah.
But it's you don't really spend I think it's a bit weird if we spend kind of
all the time like go on a nail appointment together, do each other's hair and stuff.
Yeah, a bit strange. But yeah, I think growing up, I was very, very focused, especially...
How many A stars did you get at A-levels?
I don't know, but...
4 A stars.
One of the things that, looking back, I think I was very naughty as a child in school. I got moved around a couple of different schools from my mum because I was up to no good. And then in GCSEs, again, I was okay. I was messing around a little bit, but then I think something switched around A-level time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had
crunch time then, right?
Well, yeah, in my head it was. I don't think that's true, to be honest, in this day and age. If you want to do dentistry, it is, in general.
And you knew you wanted to to do dentistry when you went into A-levels? Is that what you, or did you just do A-levels and think?
No, I think that was the goal. Dentistry was the goal at A-levels, but before that it wasn't. But when I went into dentistry, I chose chemistry, biology, maths, and then I just decided, I think it was mum kind of put it in me. I just decided, I was like, I'm gonna get into dentistry. I'm gonna do everything I can, and that's what I literally did. I worked extremely hard at my A-levels, and similar sort of stuff that's going on now, right? I had a plan in my head, I had a goal in my mind, and I wanted to achieve it. And like I said, like, look, what I'm doing right now, I kind of can block everything out if it doesn't kind of contribute towards my goal.
Yeah.
Almost like an obsession kind of thing, and it's okay. I don't want to